Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm Dating Coach Naz, and in today's video, I want to get into the difference between a man who's going to find love versus a man who's not going to find love. The reason why I want to make this video is because I want to show you guys the difference between the two. Okay, because this is what I am noticing. This is what I see. And I think sometimes if I'm just telling you guys things, you're probably, not really understanding. But I think once you see a visual of it, you might kind of, the knowledge might resonate. So this is why I wanted to create this video. And the reason also is because I want to do something a little bit different, a little bit more fun. I honestly don't know if this video, I don't know how I'm going to do this, to be honest, but I recently have been getting into, and by the way, I do not usually get into dating shows very, it's like I have phases where I get into it and then I don't, but I recently have been getting into Pop the Balloon or Find Love. It's on YouTube, and so they're not on Netflix or anything like that, and I randomly found them on the Tamron Hall show, so men are like, what are you talking about? Because I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm gonna continue. So I found this dating show, and I think the reason why it intrigued me so much is because men and women were able to reject somebody in front of their face and genuinely tell them why they're saying no or why they're saying yes. And I think that is one thing that is missing in this day and age, where we're just so easily just saying yes and no to people without there's no repercussions for it, or there's no, having the balls to kind of say, hey, I'm not interested in you. I mean, some people do that, but majority of the time, people ghost you, or they're not really honest with how they feel, or they make some stuff up. So the reason why I like this show is because it's so brutally honest. I found these two clips of these men, and instantly it's like I have this vision in my head for this video, and I wanted to show you guys the difference between a man who I believe who has done the work. Again, everybody's on their own journey, okay? There's no good, there's no bad. Everybody is doing the best they can, and with the awareness and with the consciousness that they have at that moment in time, right? And so I want to show you guys these two men, and to me it's like, what a world of difference. And again, this is not to diminish anybody or anything like that. It's just for you to kind of understand whenever I'm talking about the kind of things that I talk about, a man with purpose, intention, awareness, all these kind of things. Let's go into the first clip of the man that I believe who is not going to find love until and unless he does some drastic changes within. And again, this is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with it. You do not have to, sit here and watch it if you don't want to. This is just what I think, okay? So let's go ahead and play the clip.
Now, what are some of your deal breakers?
Deal breakers? I really don't have deal breakers, right? Because I'm from the ghetto, so I understand that, we do a lot of things in our past and in our youth that is really a problem. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have any deal breakers. But as far as deal breakers, I don't really have any.
Oh, I popped your balloon because you said you don't have any deal breakers, and everybody has to have some type of deal breaker, so you have to have something that you don't like.
It's definitely nice to meet you. When it comes to deal breakers, I'm not a surface level dating type of guy, right? Okay. I don't really care about your past. I'm from the ghetto. I'm from New Orleans, right? So nothing that you've done in your past doesn't matter to me because that was before me. After me, that's when you upgrade yourself.
I think because we come from the same place, it just clashes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So since we come from the same place, it clashes?
Yeah. I just haven't had really good relationship experiences dating people from my hometown.
You never met Brian. You never met Brian, but today that you did, you know what I mean? And today, definitely, you was a winner. But, the fact that you're from New Orleans, I respect that because I respect my home, and I'm prideful on being a Louisianian, right? Mm-hmm. And I definitely was feeling you. But,
thank you.
Since you popped on me, we don't really deal with rejection too well.
I love the way you speak, but for me, it was the pants. I don't like the pants too tight. I'm kind of ghetto, too, so I like them a little loose.
How old are you?
34.
34? Mm-hmm. How many kids you got?
I got 3.
You got 3?
Yep.
How many baby daddies?
I have 3.
You got 3 baby daddies. Okay.
I should have said 0. Because it's just me.
You gonna lie to the public?
No, I have 3, but it's just me. I'm a single parent. There's no man in my life.
No man in your life? Why is the
My
reason
boys.
for there no man in your life?
Well, my first child, his father passed away, and the other two are nowhere to be found.
They do you like that? What's wrong with them?
Something. Only God
Or
knows.
is there something wrong with you?
Possibly. But I think I'm just fine.
Yes.
Okay, how many kids you have?
I have 2.
How many baby daddies?
2.
2? Okay. So you didn't think after the first one that you wanted to marry the next one?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. I was just asking because for real men, that's what matters. Your first one is given. Your second one, the mistake is on you.
Oh, is it? Well, there's
That's definitely
circumstances
right.
under why I got
That's
pregnant.
definitely
but
right. Well, the reason for me asking their past about the baby daddies because it lets me know where they're going in their future. If you didn't want to have a baby daddy for the second time, then that lets me know that you was uncareful of what you're dealing with.
Do you necessarily
Okay.
believe that somebody's past is their past that don't determine their future?
It's based off of the energy and the conversations that were had between the women, just overall. That's it.
So you a follower?
No, I went out. That's why I said I didn't pop it right away. I wanted to see for myself.
You didn't like my responses and the women that I responded to? You didn't like the responses?
Just the energy from it. Yeah.
The energy is too strong for you, huh?
Not necessarily too strong. I just didn't too much care for it.
Oh, there's 4 billion women on the planet. I'm a black American from Louisiana. I have the choice to have the pick of the litter. So why would I pick you if you have multiple baby daddies?
Well, don't pick me.
So now that you've seen the man that is not going to find love, now I want to talk a little bit about him, okay? The first thing that I noticed about him is he didn't have any deal breakers. He didn't have any non-negotiables. And that again shows that you do not, first of all, know what they are, because everybody has non-negotiables. Everybody has things that they are not going to align with or gel with. And so he didn't have any. That tells me a lot about the person already. And I guess, the other girls, what happened is they kind of challenged him. They told him, hey, I don't like it that I don't agree with the fact that you don't have any deal breakers. And as they're kind of saying this, you could see in his head, he's thinking of a comeback. Whenever someone is unable to take criticism, one of the reasons is because they do have a narcissistic personality, okay? That's one of the biggest things. If you ever want to find out if someone's narcissistic or not, criticize them and see what they do, which is not a good sign, okay? Because again, that shows that you can't handle criticism. You are an insecure shell of a man, all right? And I understand the show must be very triggering for a lot of people. So when he's defending himself, it shows that he cannot take accountability. He cannot accept, he cannot receive. And when you're in a relationship with a man who's not able to receive or communicate or understand where you're coming from, that's going to be a disaster, okay? And so that's the one of the points I want to make. The next point I want to make is that he kept calling himself a top tier man, okay? A man with the top tier. And I understand we talk about this, when I talk to you guys, and I do tell you guys high caliber man, high caliber woman, whatever. But you never go up and tell it to a woman, hey, I'm a high caliber man and you're down here and I'm up here. That is not what this is about. If you are confident in what you're able to bring to the relationship, you know that you work on yourself. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, how great I am. I just know it. The person that is, even with wealth, like the man that is the most richest, and, he's not going to keep boasting about the money that he has. He just is. And so the same thing with this guy, he's constantly, boosting his top tierness, which is ridiculous because a man of top tier is not going to say he's top tier. And he's kind of constantly validating, it to himself, his status, his identity. I'm from wherever the hell he said he's from. He's constantly bringing it up. I'm from the ghetto. He's validating himself. Not a good sign. Next, he's really disrespectful and judgmental, okay? The way that he is kind of talking to the woman saying, well, how many sugar dad, what is it? How many men, baby daddies do you have or whatever? That is not how you speak to any woman. And I understand, by the way, I know some people will say, well, these women, yes, some of these women, they could be a bit harsh as well. So I do understand that is just kind of the way they speak to each other. And that's a whole different, a whole different topic. But I'm just talking about a man in general. You should never, even if the woman is disrespectful, you just walk away. You do not need to keep on being, having an argument with her because she's just not for you. And it's like, why waste your time with a woman who's combative? Just be like, hey, I'm not aligned to you and I gotta go. That is somebody who respects their time, values themselves, in order to not continue some, BS waste of a time conversation or connection. And so those are the 3 points that I wanted to make for him. I wanted to make this video really short and just straight to the point. So what I saw from him was he's ego driven. You do not want to be that. Constantly validating himself, saying he's top tier. No, not a good sign. Disrespectful, judgmental, talks down a woman. And it's funny because when at the start of the clip, he's saying, and I don't even know how much of this you guys are going to be able to see, but I really hope that you guys go back to the clip. I would have probably put a little link down below so you can go and watch the whole entire thing. But he basically is saying, I don't judge anybody. Everybody's a clean slate. I don't care what you have done in your past. And then he completely contradicts himself the whole time. It's just, anyways. And yes, I do laugh a lot because he really, he just made me laugh. Though I'm sorry. It just made me laugh. So, and the other part was defensiveness, argumentative, cannot take accountability, cannot handle criticism. Now, if you feel like these traits or any of the traits that you're like, oh crap, this is something that I do, this is something that I need to work on, then that's amazing. The fact that you have awareness and you're like, because I have things in me that I probably, like, oh my God, I should not say this, or I shouldn't behave in this. We all have that. We all have work that we need to do on ourselves. But it's just about the fact of having awareness and knowing that this is just not the way to be. And there's a way to be. And that's why I wanted to play this next video. And I did not record too much of that, the next guy, because it's pretty much the same stuff. I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of an example of a guy who is emotionally available, who looks like the kind of man that a woman that is connected and who's healthy is going to go for. So let's go ahead and play the clip of a man who is going to find love.
Now, what are some things you look for in a woman?
I think what's primary for me is having a relationship with God. Also, I want a woman who understands emotional intelligence, which is very important, and somebody who comes with some experience. I'm looking for a woman who's able to help me grow as much as I'm able to help her grow as well.
All right. Now, what are some deal breakers?
Well, I would say not wanting to actively grow in your relationship with God. I'm not looking for anybody who's perfect. I'm not perfect at all.
So why did you end up popping your balloon?
I just think that the chemistry for me, and also I have a daughter, and you already have 2 kids, so I think that kind of was a little bit of a concern for me. So that's why I popped. But you look great.
Thank you, and I think that's okay. I understand. No problems at all. I had children at a young age, so okay. I'm looking to recreate what I wasn't as great at doing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm comfortable knowing that when I was young, I made mistakes in my previous relationship.
Okay.
I've grown into a better man, and so I'm open. I have a lot to give. Okay. I'm a great father at raising my children, and I have a lot to give, so I'm looking to do that again. I think she's a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have to probably get to know her a little more, but she is a beautiful woman. I'm attracted to her.
Thank you so much.
Now, why did you end up popping your balloon?
I just don't feel the chemistry.
In like what way? What's
like that instant, I'm looking for that instant connection, and I don't really feel that with us.
Okay. But is he someone that if you were to approach you, you would go for it?
Yeah, he's handsome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, is she someone that's your type?
Well, I think she's beautiful. While she may not be my type, I do find her beautiful.
Thanks.
Now that you've seen the clip of the man that has, well, I believe he is the healthier version of himself. He is his authentic self. And the reason why I feel like he is going to find love is because Number one, what I liked about him is that, I mean, of course, the way he looks, he's dressed well, he looks good. And apart from all of that, which, by the way, there's a lot of men on the show, and you could see this yourself, where they look amazing. They have a full-on great outfit, suit, hair, everything's done. But when they speak, it's like a no-go because their personality, they're not being authentic and not being real. But with this man, what I liked about him, and again, he's not perfect, okay? I'm not going to say like every man needs to be like him. But to me, he is pretty top tier. Okay. This guy is somebody that I feel could be a role model for a lot of men. And just the way that he speaks, his eye contact. So I love that, whoever's speaking, he's looking at them. Whenever a man is talking and they're looking on the floor, they're looking up there, it's like I feel like they're lying or something I can't trust about it. So always make sure whenever you're talking to a woman, looking straight. But I also know that the show is intimidating when you see so many women, and it is a bit much. But I just want you to be aware of it. Always make sure eye contact. And what I really loved about him is that he took accountability for his faults. This is one thing that I personally look for, and I tell everybody, man or a woman, to look for when you're dating. If the person is saying everything is great and I'm perfect and my relationships are, or they might even get into my ex is toxic, but I'm perfect over here. There's some rats there running around. So always make sure that the person that you're dating and connecting with, that they are able to be honest with their faults. What were some of their mistakes they made in their past relationships? So I really love that he said, I made a lot of mistakes with my kids, all that kind of stuff. So I really love that about him. Now, one thing that I can say straight off the bat is that he's super self-aware. He's humble. He knows his worth without bragging. Not once did he say, I'm a top tier man. How many baby mamas do you have? And you're, how dare you make a mistake and you're not good enough for me. He didn't say any of that. Why? Because he, first of all, has faith, and because he always, he said that he's a God-fearing man, and not to say that men who aren't God-fearing are bad or anything like that. But I do believe, and I'm going to say this forever, is that anybody who has but faith, you can't have a little bit of faith. You have to have faith in something bigger than yourself, faith in God, faith in the universe, whatever, you choose to have faith in. You're always going to be, I believe, a little bit more grounded. You're going to be a little bit more relaxed, because think about it. When you don't have faith, when you don't have belief, what happens is then you think that you have to do everything in order to make something work. But when you believe that something bigger than yourself is helping you, and something bigger than you is transpiring all of these things to happen for you, you're going to be more relaxed and grounded. And so that's what I found in him, is that he didn't have to fight for his life and be in survival mode and say, you don't have sugar daddies. And he didn't have to bring any of the women down in order to feel better about himself, which is what the last guy did. He had to bring everybody down so that he feels like he is in charge and power. But that's actually the opposite. Whenever you try to make people down, you're actually the one that is powerless. And what I also liked about him is that he's very respectful with communication. You could see that whenever he's talking to women, he has eye contact, which I've already said, but he's always complimenting them. He's always uplifting them. Even when he's rejecting them, he's so kind about it. And he's not just like, yeah, she's not my type, next. Like, there's something about him that is so gentleman-like and respectful and sincere and genuine, that is so attractive to a woman who is connected to herself. Again, women that are not connected to themselves, or they might be a bit toxic within themselves, they're not going to be able to see this guy as a value. They'll probably make excuses for him. Oh, you're too boring, or your style isn't great, or whatever. And also, I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but he was really open to criticism, which is a big telltale sign of somebody, again, as I mentioned, is a narcissist or not, is toxic or not. And he handled that feedback, and he accepted it, and he said, thank you so much. He had a little bit of he explained about why he said what he said, but he didn't have one bit of, animosity towards them. And that's when you know that this man has truly worked on himself. And of course, I'm making a judgment based on the clip. I don't know him personally. People can have this be perceived as this most perfect person, and then you might get in a relationship with them and they might be toxic, right? So you just never know. But I'm just letting you guys know this is what I've gathered from the clip that I saw. And it just gives you a bit of a visual when I do talk about these kind of things to understand it in a higher capacity. So I really hope that this video helped you in any way. And if you do want more of these, because I did have fun creating this video, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time. I don't know if I want to make more, but I just wanted, something in my heart was just calling me to do it. I don't know what it was. And again, if you did like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video.